Imagine this. Just for a second, imagine you had a button that could instantly vaporize every single notebook in the world. Boom. Every journal, every legal pad, those little pocket diaries, just gone in a flash. Wild, right? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving straight into humanity's paper memory. We're going to trace how this incredibly simple tool literally shaped human civilization, pulling directly from our historical sources.
So what if you actually had to memorize, well, everything? Think about losing that extra hard drive you carry around in your pocket or your backpack. Without it, simply jotting down a phone number, sketching out a sudden genius idea, or just keeping track of your daily thoughts would be nearly impossible. A single sheet of paper allows an idea to last forever. But, it definitely wasn't always this lightweight or convenient.
It's honestly mind-blowing to realize that 5 millennia ago, this vital tool we take completely for granted was literally a heavy block of clay that you'd scratch at with a reed pen. Yeah, you absolutely weren't slipping that into your back pocket for a quick trip to the coffee shop.
Section 1. Origin of First Notes. The 5,000-year journey. Let's get into it.
Tracing the tactile, physical evolution of this medium across different empires is just fascinating. We kick things off about 5,000 years ago with the Sumerians and those heavy clay tablets. Then, our sources show the Egyptians got pretty ingenious, utilizing papyrus crafted from river reeds. Fast forward to the classical era, and the Romans are innovating with erasable wax boards, basically a wooden frame filled with wax where you'd write with a metal stylus and just smooth it out to erase. Super practical. Meanwhile, ancient Persians were turning to parchment made from animal skins.
But here's the crucial takeaway. In all these ancient civilizations, the notebook was strictly a transactional tool. It was all about recording raw data, keeping track of inventory, or logging laws. It was entirely removed from the intimate, personal item of self-expression we know today. I mean, you definitely wouldn't catch anyone pouring their heart and soul out into a clay tablet about their personal feelings.
Moving right along to Section 2. Notebooks bond with art. A canvas for creativity.
Over the centuries, these record keepers slowly morphed into canvases for both art and science. Picture isolated monks in the Middle Ages, painstakingly hand-copying manuscripts and filling the margins with personal notes and intricate doodles, a practice known as marginalia. Then jump to the Renaissance. You've got visionary scientists like Leonardo da Vinci completely filling pocket notebooks with groundbreaking, unproven ideas and wild sketches. And similarly, during the Persian era, poets and mystics were using these bound books to record deeply personal verses and profound philosophies. It was a massive shift. The notebook wasn't just for data anymore, it was literally becoming a canvas for the human soul.
Which brings us to Section 3, Mass Production Revolution, the Paper Revolution.
Now, 1798, that year was a total game changer. That was the exact pivot point that altered the trajectory of written history. The invention of the paper-making machine meant paper was suddenly cheap, accessible, and finally ready for the masses. Because before 1798, paper was mostly handmade, insanely expensive, and strictly reserved for the elite.
So the entire landscape shifts almost overnight. This new paper-making machine paves the way for rapid industrial bookbinding, which then quickly leads to mass-producing wire and glue bindings. The end result of all this? A complete transformation of the notebook into an everyday commodity. You didn't need to be a wealthy scholar or a rich aristocratic poet to afford one anymore. High-quality, durable notebooks just flooded the market, available to absolutely everyone.
All right, Section 4, Notebooks in the Digital Age. Paper meets pixels.
Today, we're looking at a really fascinating, somewhat neutral coexistence. On one hand, you've got traditional, physical notebooks. Manufacturers are constantly innovating here, right? We're talking personalized patterns, deeply tactile paper, and a massive modern focus on eco-friendly production methods. On the flip side, they're competing with, and honestly sometimes directly integrating into, modern digital tools. Think mobile note-taking apps on your tablet, smart-scannable notebooks that digitize your handwriting in a snap, and advanced digital pens. But here is what I find incredibly compelling from our sources. Even with the immense convenience and raw power of digital note-taking apps, so many people still deliberately choose the tactile, physical act of writing on paper. There is just this deep, psychological weight to putting a physical pen to a physical page. It's something that a digital screen simply hasn't completely replaced for a vast number of users.
And that brings us to Section 5, Silent Teacher of History, or Silent Companion. The notebook truly acts as a silent teacher. It literally trains us on how to capture and permanently store those fleeting thoughts before they just vanish into thin air. It facilitates a deep connection with our inner selves when we journal, and obviously with others when we share what we've written. And maybe most importantly, it proves that its ultimate value lies entirely in the written words inside, not its outward appearance. Sure, the cover might be leather or cardboard or just cheap plastic, but the real worth? That's the human thought preserved right there on the pages.
Let's just trace this incredible journey one last time. We've adapted the physical medium, from heavy Sumerian clay to woven Egyptian papyrus to mass-produced industrial paper, and now to glowing digital screens. But through all of that, our fundamental human drive to document our lives, our ideas, and our history, that remains completely unchanged. The medium evolves for sure, but the human desire to record definitely does not.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought from our sources. The notebook is the silent teacher of history. The very next time you put your pen to paper, keep that quote in mind, because in that simple, everyday motion, you're actually carrying forward a piece of humanity's incredibly adventurous history. So I have to ask, what will your next note teach the future?